Hello.
Hi.
I'm not used to speaking to so many people on one screen. It's quite nice in a way. I'm used to that one-on-one thing or people in boxes. So this is really lovely. TouCHant, welcome to our little series From a Distance, part 2. Please tell us a little bit about yourselves, where you're from, who you are.
Sure. Well, we are actually we are 8 girls that come together from bits and different parts of Switzerland. We met at the Swiss Youth Choir, which is an amazing youth choir in Switzerland.
It is a fantastic youth choir, isn't it?
Exactly. And we got together, we got to know each other there. Now we're just, a few of us are not here, but we just come together, I don't know, maybe once or twice a year to do a concert, 2-3 weekends where we practice. We just mainly sing what we like and what is fun. And that's
It's great to have you here. So there are 8 of you normally, and just people tuning into this won't know this, but we met several years ago, didn't we? Yeah. Was it 2014 or 2015?
2016.
Well, 2016. Oh, sorry. Thanks to TAG5 and their great little festival they have going over in Chur. Are you all in Chur?
I live in Chur, but generally we're all over Switzerland. So from Lucerne, from here Schwyz, Zurich, Basel. And
right.
I live in Chur now with Gianretto from TouCHant.
Okay. So So just tell us who you all are. Introduce you and the people who are not here. It'd be good to hear your names.
Sure.
Okay, yes, hello, I'm Selina. Yes, I'm mainly for the choreographics. It's my job in the ensemble.
Okay, the drama.
Yes.
I saw a bit of your ABBA.
Yes.
Your dancing queen moves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and your profession, maybe?
My profession, I'm a neuropsychologist.
Wow. Okay.
Or getting to be a neuropsychologist. Yes.
Wow, great. Great.
Okay, so I'm Patricia. I'm the president of TouCHant.
Oh, that sounds very official.
Yes, it's very official, yeah. And when I'm not singing, I'm a PhD student in education economics in Zurich.
Yeah.
Also
great.
But now we come to our professionals.
Well, not really. I'm just finishing my master's in musicology. But I make sure I kind of pick the pieces. Sometimes I arrange for these girls, and I make sure the practice and everything goes well. With Norma, with the help of Norma, our professional singer.
I study classical singing. My name is Norma.
Oh, I forgot to say my name. I'm Jessica. I forgot to say my name. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm the one that studies singing actually. So, but I I practice with them and do little warm-ups and all this. Yeah.
Vocal technical stuff.
Vocal techniques. Yeah.
She's amazing.
Where did you study, or where do you study, Norma?
I study in Lucerne. So I'm now doing masters.
It's a great singing name, Norma. Very operatic.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I think.
Be a singer.
Yeah. So, and last but not least,
my name is Olivia, and my part is I'm doing the artworks and flyers and
Nice.
visuals.
Because there's a whole world of social media now, isn't there? And there's a whole world of keeping relevant and keeping things up to date and letting people know. Do you all take a part in that?
Yes,
It's mostly her.
She
Mostly
and
her.
Natalie helps her, I think, to do Facebook and Instagram. And then, Natalie's Patti's sister that is not here. And then we have 2 other sisters, Franzi and Kati. Kati does the announcements and she organizes the concerts, the organization. She is the contact person to organize where we sing and so on. And Francie, she makes sure that we still have money.
Yeah.
So
that's an important thing, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah. So you sing for the love of it. It's really nice to do concerts. It's always nice if somebody pays us to do concerts, isn't it? Because that helps us to arrange things and pay for things. Tell us about the arranging, because you're 8 voices, you're not always singing in 8 parts, and you're doing all different kinds of repertoire. Tell us a little bit about kind of your inspiration for what you sing.
All right, so I think what is amazing with us girls is that for a girls group or women, we have a pretty wide range, I would say. So I always thought it was a bit hard to find, like cool pop songs and things that are actually pretty wide range, because usually, especially when it goes down into the low voices, it's usually you don't find anything very much for that. So I started arranging most of the things. They can come and say, oh, I'd like to sing this or that. And how I actually generally work with, I love how we sound together. So we have some pieces or bits and pieces in my arrangements that we really are this homophonic, sounding together, but also the individuality of our voices, because I think we all have completely different voices. Maybe she and her twin sister are more similar, but still we have different like colors, and I like to work with that. So if we all are singing in some same range, I like to put groups of different mixes. Olivia and Norma go very well together in classical, or Selina's definitely, she can do both. Everyone can do everything, but still just I work with the color of their voices, I would say. That's what I like to work
Great. With. And having 8 voices. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Work.
Yeah. Having 8 voices is quite a nice luxury, isn't it? There are a lot of vocal groups, who have this kind of wall of sound. 8 voices is whether you're singing in 4 parts or 5 parts, but having some parts doubled is quite nice sometimes, isn't it? Tell us about, this is the elephant in the room, is tell us about being an all-female group and because you come from a fantastic pedigree of singing. The Swiss Youth Choir is world renowned for this really high standard. And you've got a very high, I know from working with you, you've got very high standards. How do you feel ever there's limitations with the female voices and the female range?
I would say men's group, like King Singers or whatever, I definitely have wider possibilities or ranges. But I don't think that, if you're thinking just of the range, then yes, probably yes. But I think it's interesting to find ways to do new things, so that we're not limited to use the fact that we are all women voices, use our colorings, and like I said, using the individuality. I don't feel like we're limited at all. I feel we can sing actually almost anything. Honestly, just correctly and whatever. So.
It just has to be. Sometimes it has to be really low for them. She's the low one, and then really high for us. Like if I sing on top, so it's not always comfortable, but
exactly,
it's manageable.
I can vouch for that. Singing in a male voice group for many years, where I was on the bottom, and actually, the guy who was on the top, David, he had a very, very high male voice, almost kind of soprano range. But wasn't always the case, that the guy before him had a slightly lower voice, and you kind of make things work, don't you? I mean, there's always a compromise, but actually, it's about making something that is believable, and that's in the arrangement. And as you talked about earlier, you know, creating colors, creating interest in your arrangements. When did you actually form? Were you singing together as a group whilst you were in the youth choir?
When we first met you, it was the time when we were formed.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
So you kind of one of the reasons why we exist.
Oh, I see. Because I was coming to town, we needed to get a group together. Okay, well, that's great.
exactly, that was it.
Yeah.
Wow.
My boyfriend and Olivia's boyfriend, they were looking for an all-female group for the a cappella festival where you coach, and they didn't find one, and they were like, why don't you just form a group? There's so many. And so we did.
And it was actually just kind of in that project. Yeah. And then later we found out, hey, girls, this is pretty cool. Let's continue. Let's see how it goes.
Because you were pretty good in that afternoon also, where we exchanged ideas, and you sang to me and I said things, and we kind of tried different ways of doing things. You were pretty good then, and that was kind of new. So you must have honed your skills of singing together and fine-tuned your antennae, a cappella antennae, in the years since.
Yeah.
Do you find it difficult to find times when all 8 of you are free?
Yes, very hard.
Very hard. I think it's getting harder, but I'm super proud of the fact that we still always manage. You know, it's somehow we always think, oh my God, we're never gonna do it again, because sometimes it's really hard to find dates, but we still manage to find a few weekends or something, or a few evenings, and we just all have the agreement that we all have our lives, and it's just a hobby, even though we'd like to do more, but that's important that we understand that everyone has their stuff going on. And that we just try to do our best, and I just make sure that if we don't have much time, the program is not too hard or not too big, you know. So that we don't do. So you recorded a CD, and I wish I could pronounce the title of it. I think it's a very Swissism, isn't it? It's very
how did you choose songs for that? Was that basically all your kind of top hits, or was that your favorite songs, or was it a concert program? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I think we just looked at our program and our repertoire, and there are a few things that we say, this is us. We are really good in this song, or this is amazing. And then we chose those, and other ones are also, a few of us said, this one is, I really like this one, or also it's for the audience, because we have a lot of, I would say, older people that like to come to our concerts, and then there's a few songs that we said, these people, they like these kind of songs. Like Swiss folk songs and all this stuff. So
compositions. So Jessica's composition.
I did something short, and we have our own. Exactly.
It's really not. I love it when groups have their own song that is theirs and nobody else sings it, because somebody in the group has written it. We never had anybody really in the group who wrote songs for the group. We had lots of arrangers, and we had a couple of people from outside the group, like Mia Makarov, over in who writes for Rioton, who wrote as a piece, but that was more of, please will you write as a piece, here's lots of money, and they write you a piece. But it's lovely to have creativity within your group and to write your own stuff, because that's kind of special, and that's kind of, groups like the Real Group really came into their own like that. They had their own songs that people loved, and you can't go to other groups to hear them. Well, lots of people sing their music now. Can you adapt music for mixed voices? Do you take SATB arrangements or arrangements by some of these famous vocal groups, you know, the legends of the a cappella scene, and then adapt them for yourselves? Do you do that?
Yeah, well, if we've taken like pentatonics is actually pretty ideal, because like pentatonics, the bass is so low. So if I take it an octave higher, it's still low, but it's like our range. like friends in my range, and then the rest, because, you know, the tenors are so high mostly, and the woman, of course, as well. So actually pentatonics works pretty well. Run to, I think I only adapted a few tiny things, otherwise I could do that one. And yeah, I like taking things that already exist. It doesn't matter if it's a Disney medley where I only have the piano, or a SATB. I think I like taking that and then putting it into our voices, or finding to one of the
Actually, talking of the real group, that their famous Chili con Carne, I think I worked with some a high voice group like yourselves who did an arrangement. Well, it wasn't their arrangement. It was a published arrangement of Chili con Carne, but it was set for 4 or 5 high voices, and that works really well. In fact, there's a Dutch group, you might have come across them, called Wishful Singing. If you haven't, look them up. Wishful Singing, professional group. I think there's 5 of them now. And they've had that similar thing. They have to adapt, they have to move. They made that decision. They did some big competitions. Tolosa in Spain, they won a prize. And they made that decision to go from being, you know, singing, enjoying it, to kind of trying to make their living. And I kind of think they've got quite a good balance now. Hey, yeah, look them up. Tell us a little bit about lockdown and COVID and how that's impacted on what you do in Switzerland.
Well, I mean, for us, we wanted to have like you said, we recorded the CD and we wanted to make a big party to celebrate us and show everyone what we did. And until now, I think we couldn't manage to do that because there was a lockdown. First lockdown was the second lockdown, and we've also couldn't see each other, so we did some Zoom meetings where we tried to sing together, but it was really hard.
It's fairly impossible, isn't it? It's fairly impossible.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
So since then, I think it was December 2019, we didn't actually have a concert.
Yeah, so we actually wanted to do a concert today, something small with a group, not Tag 5, but other group, 5 men in Zurich. But it's actually still not allowed with, with audience. It's not allowed only tomorrow. Only from tomorrow on they open again. So concert was not possible today. That's why we just had some fun and we're just practicing a bit. Hopefully in autumn we can make a concert or something. I mean, we really didn't see each other, but singing with masks we did now as well today. And at the beginning, when we sang at the beginning of May, we were allowed to sing with each other for the first time again with masks. And we were in a church that had a lot of that was super loud.
Acoustic.
Yeah, because it was super loud, and it was so hard to find to have the same tempo, to see. You don't see when someone's breathing. You don't know when it is. It was very hard. It was an interesting experience.
I've been doing some choirs, directing some choirs with masks, and they're younger people, and some of them are not too keen on being in the choir. And I think they just sit there with their mask on, and I can't tell whether they're singing or not. So it's,
You're right.
Yeah, I had a chat with some singers who were meant to come on a summer course to England this year, and they it was a choir course, and also we had a group course with groups coming, and we just got together for a tea and a chat, because the course has to be postponed till next year. So everybody came along, but there was a lovely lady from Switzerland who I've never met before, and she was coming on the course. And we were going around and talking about everything that we've been through over the last year and a quarter. And she said, she was telling us how Switzerland has opened up for singing again, but there was something kind of ridiculous meter, this kind of 25 square meters or something per singer. Is it, how big was it? Was it 25 meters, or did I mishear her? Because that's kind of 5 meters by 5 meters, isn't it?
Yeah,
For singing without masks.
Without masks.
Yeah.
If you sing with, it's just 1.5 meters.
So 5 meters by 5 meters per singer.
Yeah.
I can't even think of a place where I could sing on my own in my house.
We were only allowed 15 anyway, because the thing is, then at that point when they opened this, our numbers were pretty high. We're very high still. That's why. And kind of in autumn, they got the notion that singing was kind of the worst thing you could do. To be fair, there were many choirs that did sing, didn't keep their distances and didn't follow the rules, and we heard about those, and they were all over the news because everyone got sick, and then they were just like, all right, if you're not professional, you're not singing anymore. That was it.
Yeah.
And I did that in November, I think, or even October, until like last month now, end of April, which is super long. But yeah, and then later they opened it slowly, but I think they were just afraid of something similar happened. So they really made actually impossible rules for choirs to sing again. But I think now from tomorrow onwards, it should be better, but still with masks singing inside.
Or outside.
Or outside.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
We're allowed to do a concert outside. With a choir.
Yes. Nice. Tell me how you work in rehearsals. I'm just very interested. All groups work differently. I know you have a kind of a lead in the rehearsals, and I know that with 8 singers, it's quite difficult to have too many people, and it's quite easy. It's quite an easy way forward to have somebody who has a final say. I know groups like the Swingles have they nominate a musical director. In the King Singers, we just all chipped in, and our rehearsals were really boring. A lot of talking, a lot of English compromise all the time. But at least when you go on the stage, you feel like everybody's had a part. So how does it work with your rehearsals? Take me through how it would work.
We started with everyone talking, and then we discovered that it didn't work. and now Jessica is kind of our musical director, and she's the lead.
So
and Norma for all the
Norma does
not at the concerts.
Yeah, not at the concerts. At the concerts, it's very important for me that we're a group of 8. Like everyone has a part, huge part, not just music wise. That is very important for me. For me, honestly, it was also a bit difficult sometimes to find between when do I need to lead and when not. Also due to the fact that I can't stay still on stage. And so I'm like moving like an idiot, and everyone's like, okay, so that's just who I am. But so Norma is definitely for all the voice things, she just do it way better than me. And so she does a warm up, and if she hears something, she says, hey, can you do this? Or she helps if someone has a solo or whatever. But otherwise, I just take the lead. It's nice. I can say what I like in a piece musically, and they usually all accept it brilliantly. But if someone has an idea, we discuss it, and sometimes I change things. I don't want everyone to feel like I have the last word and that's it. I just feel like we should all agree, because if they're not happy with what we're singing on stage or on CD, what's the point?
So important. And when it comes to the concerts, are you sharing out the introducing and the talking to the audience? How do you do that? Do you all talk to the audience, or does somebody do all the talking?
Yeah, somebody does all the talking.
Yeah.
She's not here now.
Fatty, yeah.
Okay. And how does that work? Do you like that, or is that just how you started and it feels comfortable?
I like that very much, because she's like very
natural.
How she talks to the audience, and for her it's not a stress to sing after or talk after. And for me it would be, I couldn't sing after when I have to talk, because I'm very nervous. I think for her it's just very natural. She's a teacher, so maybe it's also she's just as is natural. Yes.
One of the basses before I joined, there was a guy in the King Singers. He was the very first bass, and he was there for 14 years. He was called Brian Kate, and he did the way they came together. He just did all the talking. He talked in the first concert. He talked in the second. He carried on for 14 years doing all the talking, and nobody else said a thing until he left. And then there was this big void of what we're going to do now. And they started sharing it out. So they might have 5 groups of songs in a concert, three groups in the first half, a couple of sets in the second half, and they share it out. One person might get a night off because there were 6 guys. And then it became kind of the trademark that the audience heard from everybody in a little way. But I remember the first time I had to speak to an audience, you know, in my early days, it was terrifying. It was more terrifying than singing and learning all the notes, was to actually have 2 lines, which I had written down, to actually say and announce a piece. Yeah, it's sometimes quite nice. The audience, to have one person, the audience tunes into that person and gets the personality and develops a kind of relationship with that one person. I suppose it can also be quite nice to hear from everybody as well. Good. So tell me, moving on, the year ahead, the sun is started to shine here in England. I think there's warm weather coming from the south, I hear, so it must be quite nice there today. What does the summer hold for TouCHant? What plans have you got?
Yeah.
Well, summer is pretty, we usually don't do much in summer because many are gone and on holidays and everything. We do have a small concert where we're singing with a musician. He invited us. It's just something small and in September. And then we're trying to organize with these guys that we would have sung on today. We're trying to organize to sing with them in autumn. Let's see if that works out.
We tag 5 or?
No, they don't even have a name.
No.
But they're just different 5
They
guys.
don't have a name yet. They don't have a name yet. Maybe you'll influence them to start and have a name.
Yeah, there's just yeah. So we'll try in autumn to do something there, something small. I mean, now many of us got our concerts also all in autumn because everything can start again, and so we already have a lot of dates occupied. So we didn't find much time to. But we'll just do what we can, and I think it's important that we can just sing in November, do something small because people haven't heard us for a long time. Even if it's the old songs, we actually just sang today all the old songs that you did with us. Yeah, we haven't sang them since then, I think. And it was hilarious because it's just something else, you know, you've been singing for 4 years or 5 years with each other. It's a different level, and it was fun. Cool. It's great.
Well, it's been great catching up with you guys, and I'm personally thrilled that I might have had some part in you staying together and coming together and starting to sing after your youth choir days. But I really wish you well for the year ahead. It's been a difficult year, hasn't it? Not singing and doing what we normally do, and it's so fantastic that you're sticking together and planning ahead. And well, all the best. And you've got a website, and you've got Facebook. Did I see Instagram somewhere as well? Yeah, you're everywhere. Okay. Thanks again. Send my best wishes to the other guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I wrote to tag 5 today just to say hope all's well. Hope and that I was going to be catching up with you guys, and hope to see you in Switzerland, if not in the UK. When you come and do your UK tour, I'll be here. All right. Hey, take care.
You too. Thank you.
And thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.